Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're doing another freezer meal video. This week we are sharing 3 recipes to make 6 vegetarian freezer meals. So this month I am sharing my freezer meal game. I like to stock up the freezer before I go back to school so that I have lots of easy dump and go meals for that time when it is super busy here in the fall. So I shared last week 6 chicken freezer meals, those recipes. I'll have the playlist listed below. I shared a bunch of freezer meal ideas last year too, so that's included in the playlist. Today, I thought we would do some vegetarian freezer meals because when I shared some of my vegetarian meals in another video, I realized I don't do a lot of vegetarian meals and some of y'all really want that. So today I'm gonna be sharing 3 recipes, but we're gonna double those so that we get 6 freezer meals and they're all gonna be vegetarian and I think they're gonna be delicious. So let me show you what all we got. Here's everything we're going to be using today. A lot of this I just dug up from my pantry, especially the canned items. So we're gonna be using some cream of celery soup, cream style corn, and that's why they're all different brands, is because this was just stuff I already had in my pantry. Diced tomatoes, black-eyed peas, black beans, and then I have these sweet potatoes that I need to use up, so I am gonna be peeling those and putting that in the recipe. That is gonna be the most work that this is peeling up these potatoes. From the freezer, I've got some whole kernel corn, this seasoning blend from Walmart. It has onions, celery, red pepper, green peppers, parsley flakes. That, I am taking some help from the freezer for that. That's gonna save me some time. I did get some hash browns. These are the Southern style O'Brien with onions and peppers. Again, taking help from the freezer section. This is gonna save me time, and this is delicious. And then I wasn't sure how much onion I was gonna need, so I just went ahead and grabbed another bag of these chopped onions. Now, if you wanted to chop your own onions, peppers, potatoes, celery, by all means, do that. But this is what I'm doing today to make our vegetarian freezer meal. Okay, so the first recipe that I'm going to be sharing, and these recipes will be linked down below in the description box, is going to be a sweet potato and black bean chili. I am a super fan of chili. A lot of times I make it with meat and, pinto beans, kidney beans, those kinds of things. Never made chili this way, and this is a completely vegetarian option. So I am going to be using 2 cans of black beans. I am going to drain and rinse those. I'm going to be using a can of diced tomatoes. These are just plain, regular old diced tomatoes because it's what I had on hand. You could use fire roasted, rotel, whatever you want to use. I'm using that because I had it. I'm going to be needing 2 sweet potatoes peeled and chopped. I am doubling this recipe, so I'll end up doing all 4 sweet potatoes. And then the recipe calls for onions and red and green peppers. So I'm just gonna use this seasoning blend. Yeah, it has celery in it too, but I think it'll be fine. So I'm just gonna use this seasoning blend in this black bean and sweet potato chili. So the first thing I need to do is peel up these potatoes. That's going to take the most time, and then I'll show you how we put it together. Let's label our bag with the date. And this is black bean sweet potato chili. On the day of cooking, we're going to add 3 cups of chicken broth. So I'm going to write that on the bag so that I will remember. And let's go ahead and get our 2 bags ready to fill. If you have one of these baggie holders, you can use that. I mean, I got that super cheap off of Temu, or if not, I just use a pitcher. But I'm doubling these recipes, so we're going to start with our sweet potatoes. I had 4 sweet potatoes. I washed and peeled them, diced them up, and I have about 5 cups here of potatoes. So I'm going to start by just putting half the potatoes in each bag. Next, we need 2 cans of black beans drained and rinsed. So I'm going to put that in each bag. Next, the recipe calls for green bell pepper and onions. I'm gonna use this seasoning blend frozen pack, so I'm gonna put half in each bag. Into each bag, we're gonna add in a can of diced tomatoes. Fire roasted would be really good in this. There's one. There's two. Next, we're gonna add our spices. So we need a tablespoon of chili powder in each. And then we're gonna do teaspoons of everything else. So we're gonna do a teaspoon of cumin. One. A teaspoon of garlic powder. I don't have much of this left. Teaspoon of smoked paprika. A teaspoon of oregano. And then we're going to finish up with a teaspoon of salt. And that's it. Let's get all the air out of this. There we go. On the day of cooking, I'm gonna put this in the crock pot with 3 cups of chicken broth. Gonna put it on low for 7 to 8 hours, high for 4 to 5, and we've got ourselves some sweet potato and black bean chili. Pause. I keep saying chicken broth throughout this video, and I mean vegetable broth. I'm so sorry. The next recipe that we're gonna make is a Cajun black-eyed pea soup. Definitely never tried this, very interested to see how it turns out. So of course this is going to have black-eyed peas. We're gonna use more diced tomatoes. We're gonna use some frozen corn. And the recipe again calls for bell peppers, onion, celery. So we're gonna take the help with a seasoning blend, and then we're gonna be adding in all kinds of seasonings. So let me show you how we put it together. I'm gonna get my bags ready, just like the last one. On cooking day, I'm gonna add 3 cups of broth. So I'm gonna add that to the bag so that I remember. All right. Cajun black-eyed pea soup. We're gonna start with the seasoning blend. I'm gonna do half the bag in each. We're gonna need some frozen corn. I'm gonna do half a bag in each. We're gonna add 1 can of black-eyed peas drained and rinsed to each bag. We're going to add a can of diced tomatoes to each bag. Since this is Cajun, fire roasted would be good. Now for the seasonings, I'm gonna add about a teaspoon each of this garlic powder, but I don't have much, so I'm just gonna finish this off. We're gonna add a teaspoon of that smoked paprika. And then we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of your favorite Cajun seasoning. Tony's is good. This is what I have right now, the Cajun 2-step. So 2 teaspoons of that. See how easy it is to measure. 1, 2, 1, 2. And that's it. Get all the air out of this. On the day of cook, you are going to add your 3 cups of chicken broth. You're going to put this in your slow cooker, 7 to 8 hours on low, 4 to 5 hours on high. This would be delicious with some cornbread, y'all. Here we go. Cajun black eyed pea soup. The last recipe that we are making today is one that I'm kind of just made up myself, but I think it's going to be delicious. It is a corn and potato chowder. So of course we're going to be using some whole kernel corn. I'm going to be using these hash browns for the potato component. I did this last year with the potato soup, and these actually cook up great in the crock pot, and then you can just kind of mash them up with a potato masher. And these come with the bell peppers and the onions already in the potatoes. We're also going to be using cream of celery and some cream style corn. So let's get this chowder in our freezer bag. Okay, now for our last recipe, this potato and corn chowder. We are going to be adding the 3 cups of broth on cook day, so I wrote that on the bag. I have 2 of these bags, so I'm going to go ahead and add a bag to each. If you wanted to cut down on cost or cut down on the bulk of this, you could just do 1 bag, do half in each, but I'm going to do the whole bag. In the winter, and this will make a lot of soup, and it's going to be really hearty, and some of these potatoes, you know, are going to get mashed and they're going to cook down. So I've got my 2 bags of the potatoes, the hash browns with peppers and onion. I'm gonna add half a bag of frozen corn. And this is the 12-ounce bag. I'll have the recipe link down below. Now to each bag, I'm gonna add 2 cans of cream style corn. There's 1, 2, and a can of cream of celery. If you don't like cream of celery, you could use whatever cream of soup that you want. You could use cream of potato, but I thought this might add some good flavor. This is gonna be a lot. There we go. 1, 2. And that is it. So that is going to be such a good soup. I'm not going to add any seasonings to this. I will season with salt and pepper to taste on the day of the cook. As much air out as possible. This is pretty full. So on the day of cooking, I'm going to add 3 cups of broth, put this in my crock pot, let it cook on low for 7 to 8 hours, high for 4 to 5. Then I'm going to take a potato masher, mash a little bit of those potatoes up. This is going to be delicious. And there we go, 6 more meals ready to go in the freezer. I now have 12 meals ready to go. And these 6 here are all vegetarian, and I think they're going to be delicious. So there you have it, 6 more meals in my freezer ready to go this fall. I hope that you enjoy these vegetarian options for freezer meals. I think they're going to be yummy and so delicious. Thanks so much for watching, guys. As always, please give me a like if you're liking this series, and subscribe if you've not already thought about doing so. And so I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.